Hello and welcome to the Steffe B Show. This episode is sponsored by Jack Studios. I am sitting with Richard Potts, the creator of Save by Tech Conference, over here in Bristol in the United Kingdom. Richard, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Wonderful. This is the great part where I read your bio and you just get to sit back and relax.
Perfect.
So Richard Potts has worked in media for over a decade before deciding to create his own digital marketing company, Whisper Media, in 2013. His company is focused on technologies that have the power to tackle the world's environmental and social problems. As a result, Whisper Media has organized several conferences. And with all that amazing activity, we are here to talk to him today about drones and technology. So tell me, Rich, what were you doing when you decided the world needed a drone conference?
Well, I started my company 2 years ago. Background in sort of digital publishing, worked in lots of different industries, everything from sort of food and drink industry through to customer management and everything in between. So when I started my company, I wanted to really kind of ground it in something I was passionate about. I think that's really important if you own a company. You've got to get out of bed every day with enthusiasm. Against an uphill struggle most of the time for 20 years or so you need to be kind of genuinely motivated. So we didn't specifically look at drones, we looked at technology that does good, and that was the thing that I kind of really got excited about, the potential for technology to solve the world's problems, to save us, and that's where Save by Tech came from as a concept. And as we were doing this, we were looking at sort of lots of different technology areas, and the one that cropped up all over the place in lots of different sort of unexpected areas was drones, commercial drones. And it seemed like a very nascent industry, something that was very new and very exciting, but also growing very rapidly. And it's moved from sort of aerial photography, like on the poster there, to the mix of sort of technologies that have converged with drones to allow them to be more diverse in their potential. So everything from sort of environmental monitoring to surveying and mapping and 3D sort of planning of cities. So it's an incredible area, and it's we sort of found it in lots of different spaces. So we kind of just focused on that, and what we do is we build communities. So we build those connections, and we do that digitally first, and then we launch the event as a physical way of getting people together. That in the long form is what we do.
Yeah, and you've got two very successful conferences now. I myself traveled all the way from Houston, Texas to be here in Bristol. We always hear about struggles from entrepreneurs. Tell me, what was your toughest day getting out of bed in the past year?
It was probably, this is going to sound slightly political, but it wasn't really meant to be, but it was probably a day or two or a week after we had a Brexit vote over here, so where the UK voted to leave the European Union. And it wasn't specifically because of the way we voted, it was because it became a huge distraction. Business is driven by, yes, it's driven by entrepreneurialism, yes, it's driven by great ideas and great products and great people, but it's also driven by positive attitudes. And when you have a very sort of divisive vote like we did, where it literally split the country down the middle, and people were arguing with each other for months on end, and then it finally concluded where only millions and millions of people were unhappy, and that has a knock-on effect. Those people get out of bed in the morning feeling less positive about their work. And so the macro kind of social, political, economic issues, they have a huge impact on tiny little businesses like mine when we're starting up, because, like I said, the attitude and the pervasive kind of behaviours of people will impact on business, and it's a really something that we do need to do something about. Entrepreneurialism is driven by positivity and enthusiasm and a sense of a positive future, to determine that positive future. So that was a really difficult period, and we were building up our event, and it just went quiet, and all the conversations stopped, and you start panicking that there's nothing much more you can do, but you have to keep sort of working through it. And it took about 6 months, I'd say, for that feeling to sort of dissipate from the industry. That was a tough time. Yeah.
I really appreciate that you talk about positivity and passion even in those tough times. It sounds like you yourself have been saved by technology. Is there any one particular piece of this business that has just grabbed you and propelled you forward?
It's probably social communities actually, because we're technology we use. We're not sort of massively involved in sort of the hyper technology. We're not working with supercomputers or artificial intelligence. These are areas we might look into from an events point of view. But in terms of our actual day-to-day work, the technology we use is entirely digital. It's entirely web-based. I mean, the internet goes down for 5 minutes in my office, and we can't work. We sort of lose that ability. And that's something, talking to you guys yesterday about the opposite side of that, about the importance of people contacts, was really interesting, because we are very reliant on technology. So the internet and the reliance on that technology is the thing that is the thing that grabs me, but also probably takes me away from some of the aspects of human interaction. So there's upsides and downsides.
Yeah, I imagine with human interaction, you meet so many different people at this conference. What is your attendance like, and where are the people coming from?
So attendance is really healthy. We launched the first conference in 4 months after starting. We had no contacts in the drone industry. And within 4 months, we built up and run a conference where 100 people came to it, and 8 speakers throughout the day. And that was our first kind of foray into the drone tech world. And from there, we've built up the world's biggest social audience. So we've got 109,000 people on Facebook following our drones channel. We've got the biggest LinkedIn group in the world. So building those digital communities means it's a genuinely global audience, and that means that it's not tethered. Although we're running events in Bristol at the moment because it's our hometown and it's a great place, we're not tethered. We exist internationally because we exist digitally, and so that's the real upside of digital I was talking about. The attendance for this is at least double that. We've probably had about 200 individuals over the last 2 days. We've had fantastic speakers, including you guys, sort of 30 odd speakers, and it's just been the quality of the content, the quality of the conversations, and I think most importantly is the depth of interaction, the engagement with people have had with those speakers. They've been asking questions. It's been very backwards and forwards. So it's been fantastic. It's a really, it's going very much in the right direction for us.
Now I'm going to ask you a very direct question, and this is for all my millennials out there. Do you make good money?
Money is definitely challenging. We're what we call a bootstrapped business, so that means I funded it myself, and I funded it from a position of I've got 2 young kids, I've got a family, I was the breadwinner in my family, I've got a mortgage. All of the conditions of starting a business were terrible. They were the wrong conditions, and the one thing I would say to all you millennials out there, if you've got an entrepreneurial streak, is there is no good time to start a business. They're all bad times. The worst time to start it is to never start it. You really, at some point, you have to just cut your losses and do it. I found myself in a position where I kind of had to start the business and I needed to do it. And your biggest concern, your biggest headache, and the thing that will keep you awake every night is cash flow and money. And there's been times where I've, put my personal debt into the company. I've invested genuinely into the company. But then there are times when you have a really good week and cash comes in, and you may sort of buy yourself a certain amount more time. And the way you have to see things, is it's about how long in the future can you survive. And it's best not to try and think about, how much have I got enough money for the whole year? You'll never have enough money for the whole year. Just think about, have I got enough money for the next payroll, the next check? Can I pay my suppliers? Am I a month ahead? And then once you get to that point, you want to be looking to try and get 2 months ahead. And once you're at 2 months ahead, you're okay. So you never feel rich. Running your own business is not this glamorous, glorious thing. If you've gone from having a salary to running your own business, it's a real shock to the system. But you just have to break it down and control what you can control, and just work at it.
I honestly think that's enough inspiration for all of us. Rich, thank you so much. If you're looking for Rich, here's where you can find him. Here's all his social media information, the website. If you'd like to attend the conferences, take a screenshot. I always say get that information. Thank you so much for interviewing with us today. This has been the Steffe B Show, again sponsored by Jack Studios.